Over the past few months, the idea of a CANZUK alliance between Canada, Australia, New Zealand and the United Kingdom, encompassing areas like free trade, free movement and a united voice on the world stage, has only continued to grow in popularity and intensity, and now a new petition in Canada that has rocketed to success might prove the turning point for CANZUK talks beginning in the near future if we play this right. Now, before I dive deeper into this Canadian petition, I want to again highlight the UK petition. As of the time of writing, this is getting extremely close to the 10,000 signatures needed. I feel like I say this every time, but every time I record, it gets ever so slightly closer. It only needs about 350 more signatures now. So scan that QR code up on screen now, or click the link in the description if you haven't signed it. The deadline is right around the corner on the 24th of July. We don't have much time at all. So please, if you are in the UK, either a British citizen or just living here, just resident in the UK, please go and sign it. It's a very simple thing to sign. Just fill in a few details and your email address, which will give you updates on the petition's progress. And it takes literally 30 seconds to sign. We are so close, and this would be amazing to finally get the government to take some formal notice of our campaign. But with that out of the way, let's get into this Canadian petition, which is something I've covered in my new podcast, CANZUK Now. The first episode is out. It's about half an hour long and goes over some of the most recent CANZUK updates of the last few weeks and months, but I thought it definitely deserved its own video, this Canadian petition. It's called E6585 and has been supported by CANZUK International already, who made a blog post about it, and the CANZUK subreddit has been brilliant at getting this spread around too. Go and join that subreddit. It's very active and really nice to see a community supporting CANZUK there. So a huge congrats to the Canadians, because this petition has already passed the 500 signatures needed for an official response from the Canadian government, smashing that and reaching 1,200 signatures at time of writing, well past double that needed threshold. And it presents a very interesting version of CANZUK. Of course, everyone has a slightly different idea of what they want a CANZUK alliance to be, so I'll go over in a moment what this petition suggests. It is sponsored by a Liberal member of the Canadian Parliament, the same party as Prime Minister Mark Carney, sponsored by the MP for Etobicoke Centre in Ontario, Evan Baker, and calls upon the federal government of Canada to strengthen their relationships with Australia, New Zealand and the United Kingdom through CANZUK. It directly lists a number of crucial points on its webpage of the e-petition, which I'll link to if you want to check it out. I'll put up a QR code on screen as well now, but it lays out some crucial context before giving its suggestions to the Canadian government, and it says, whereas the American withdrawal from global affairs leaves Canada in a vulnerable position, and we must strengthen our other partnerships to face this reality. A pact between Canada, Australia, New Zealand and the United Kingdom, termed CANZUK, is now receiving support across the political spectrum. These countries are incredibly close allies, sharing a system of government through a common history and values that unite them across vast distances. Each of our governments cooperate closely with each other through numerous global organisations such as the Commonwealth, the CPTPP, Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, G7 and NATO. Our lands are incredibly resource rich and home to the most educated people in the world, numbering 140 million in total when counted together. We have built the most tolerant societies in the world, where diversity is our strength, and notably this is from a Liberal member of Parliament, so they're dropping in that kind of liberal political views here, but he says where diversity is our strength and visible minorities are trusted in the highest seats of power, and deepening ties based on clear compatibility can build a new pillar of the democratic world that could outdo our past reliance on the United States. And that reliance part is very important as well. Canada, over the past few decades, has become increasingly dependent on the United States for many things, and I think a diversification away from that is only a good thing for the Canadian economy. So in that broad context, the petition sets out there. I'll get onto its suggestions in a moment, but I do think it lays out some really important points. I just said about the reliance thing there, but it also lays out the shared system of government that we have, the common history, the common values that unite us all, which is a really key thing to point out, as well as the fact that our governments already cooperate very closely in several international organisations, and just the fact that we are such close peoples. I mentioned this in my podcast as well. I feel a lot closer to CANZUK nations than European nations, for example, even though Europe is a lot closer to the UK than the CANZUK nations. But I feel like we are more of a family of nations, or a brotherhood of nations, and this feeling of unity is pretty unique in the world. It's pretty rare to find that in the world. So I think we must do all we can to seize upon that opportunity. The e-petition here lays out some key suggestions to the government of Canada after giving that context. It says, quote, "We, the undersigned citizens of Canada, call upon the government of Canada to 1. Enter negotiations for a CANZUK pact covering both labour mobility and security to start. 2. Create a programme allowing university graduates to freely travel and work in each country, mutually recognising most professional qualifications in areas such as healthcare and engineering. 3. Recognise a long-term goal of free movement for all citizens. 4. Enhance security ties through mutual defence commitments and jointly developing military technology. And 5. Begin with joining British efforts for a 6th-generation fighter jet," and this is a jet we are calling Tempest, and it's being developed alongside Italy and Japan at the moment, rather than an American alternative, it says. So those are the 5 main points that it lays out in this petition, directly calling upon the government of Canada to take action on these points. So this petition closes on the 14th of October and has already reached, as I say, over 1,200 signatures, doubling that threshold. Absolutely storming to success here. I'm so glad to see this got so much support right off the bat, and CANZUK International, as I said, made their own blog post about it, and really great to know that we will get an official response to CANZUK itself from the government of Canada at some point in the near future. And as the title of this video says, this could be the opportunity we have for Canada to kick-start CANZUK talks. If at around the same time the UK petition reaches its 10,000 signatures needed for an official response from the UK government, then we could really get something going here. The timing is really close. And if we have action starting in both the Canadian and British governments, recognising that their citizens have had this campaign ongoing for CANZUK, and there are members of the British House of Lords that openly advocate for CANZUK as well. It's not a hidden thing in the House of Lords anyway. If we can get some real attention on this, the Canadian government and the British government both recognising this at the same time could be the kickstart we need for CANZUK to actually get started. Because it's all well and good me making videos, the CANZUK International lobbying governments, but unless governments actually take action and listen to their citizens, we can't get it off the ground. So hopefully we can see that very soon. Of course, take into account that this petition is only the very first steps here. It doesn't go nearly as deeply as I would like to see, but you can't expect such integration from the initial steps here. But I think you could, especially this idea of collective development of military technology, that could be something that we really seize upon, being not dependent on the United States for military technology. That's really positive, and something the EU is already looking into separating itself as well. So if CANZUK can do that as well, I think less dependence on the United States can only be good, because it's shown itself to be an unreliable and unpredictable and indeed even hostile actor towards Canada. So I think diversifying away is only a good thing. It also says about opening doors for freedom of movement, which is great, about the mutual recognition of qualifications as well, which is really important because it means that any migration or labour flows that start between us with these initial steps can easily be based on positions that each country needs to fill in its labour forces. It mentions healthcare and engineering, as I say, as 2 of the ones that can be the most important to begin with, but no reason why that can't be expanded. And it does say recognise the long-term goal of freedom of movement between all citizens. So that's really good. I do think this is a reason to get excited about the future of CANZUK, and if we can only keep ramping up our pressure on governments, keep going with the petitions, as I say, please try and get that UK petition over the line, share it around, make videos or slideshows or whatever you want to make about it as well. share it on your social medias. If you have friends that haven't signed it, if you're in the UK, please go and do so. Get it over the line. 350 signatures only needed at time of writing. Really, really, really close. So I'll be sure to update you on any progress or response to this Canadian petition as well, and of course the UK one if we can get it over the line. But I thought I should make a standalone video going over this Canadian petition and the version of CANZUK that it presents. Thought it was really, really good to see this get over the threshold so quickly, and I'll make sure to update you as I say. But thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. You can join as a channel member. I've got lots of links in the description below as well if you want to support me in other ways. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.